Welcome to the Polite Conversations podcast, where every episode is focused on civility, decorum, and good manners. And I'm your lovable, non-controversial host, Ina. If you know me, you know I definitely don't like to ruffle any feathers at all.
Seconds from now, it's a time we've all been waiting for. And there you have it. CTV News Decision Desk declaring a Liberal win. We know that the Liberals will be forming the next government of Canada.
Yes, we did manage to hold back the overt far-right fucks. Sort of comparable to the urgency of stopping yourself from bleeding out. Very important. It keeps you alive. But you could still have other health issues going on even after stopping that bleeding, you know? The Trumpian Maple MAGA fascists were defeated in our election this Monday, so that part is good. Very, very good. A couple of months ago, it seemed impossible. The Conservatives had an insane lead, Liberals plummeted in the polls, and if you look at the charts for this, it's totally wild. So just through that lens, it really is quite a comeback. Hearing our new Prime Minister say,
America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never, ever happen.
It felt great and comforting, not gonna lie. I was super anxious watching the results come in. I stayed up late, barely got any sleep that night. I don't think I've ever felt a Canadian election be this high stakes. Like, it truly seemed that Canada itself was at stake, like its very existence. So, phew, we avoided handing the country to a Jordan Peterson fan, a Trump bootlicker, an admirer of the types of self-destructive policies we're seeing play out in the States right now. And that in itself feels like a huge win, a huge relief. Make MAGA rhetoric politically toxic around the fucking globe, I say. Looking at you, Australia, you're heading into your election in just a couple of days at the time I record this, so good luck with that. I hope you avoid the MAGA wannabe in your part of the world. I really hope that Trump has done enough damage to save everyone else from that sort of fate, so yeah, good luck, Australians. Another thing that feels very different now is how much the world has shrunk. Our fascists borrow from each other's playbooks, fund each other, inspire and embolden each other, so the rest of us feel very invested in elections around the world. The devastation I felt when Trump won seemed personal. Some of that is because they're our neighbors, and some of it is because they're a very powerful country that impacts every other country, but a lot of it is because it is personal. Everything, everywhere, is personal now. Trump is quickly smashing the old world order, and the only potential silver lining I can see is that taking that apart forces other countries to do something different and maybe create a better world, one less dependent on this warmongering bully of a country that is completely in the grips of a self-destructive fascist mania right now. And hey, showing the US that it can't just endlessly get away with whatever bullying it wants to do might actually be helpful for the US. Right, American friends? Like, someone's got to put the US in a timeout. It just needs to be done. It's like an out-of-control toddler, but doing a lot more damage. Anyway, I digress. As I was saying, those of us who keep up with this stuff, well, we all feel very invested in each other's elections now, and we're affected by them. So Canada avoiding the Trumpy candidate feels good to a lot of people around the world. We all needed this win, eh? But it's not quite as rosy as many people outside of Canada are making it out to be. Firstly, the Liberal Party here is as centrist and shitty as the Democrats are. But they are the better option. This is true. However, what concerns me to a great degree and is perhaps lost in all the celebration is the fact that considering all that was at stake in these elections, while Canadians are seeing their country be threatened directly, openly by Trump, I feel like this should have been a historic rejection and whooping of the uncomfortably Trump-like Conservative Party here. Yet, it was not. It was apparently their strongest performance since 2011. And sitting with that makes me very afraid of what kinds of people we're surrounded by. Perhaps similar to the horror non-MAGA Americans may feel at how many people voted for Trump in their country. Okay, maybe not as bad because he actually won despite being a convicted felon and a rapist. It's not that bad, but it's close. We set records this year in Canada for early voter turnouts in the federal election. That had me hoping that the country was motivated to say, no, fuck you, to that awful Trumpian far-right politics. But sadly, that wasn't it at all. While in his speech, Pierre Poilievre, the Timu Trump, as people are calling him, claimed that the victory was razor thin for the Liberals, it's not quite that thin. You need 172 seats for a majority government, and the Liberals got 169 of those, so they'll have a minority government, while the Conservatives got 144. So it's not that narrow of a victory, but it's still way too close for comfort, especially when the stakes are this high. What were so many of these people thinking? Are they fine with becoming the 51st state, not just even during regular times, but when the U.S. is a sinking ship? I don't get it. Is hating minorities and diversity that important to some people that they're willing to sacrifice Canada itself, potentially? Or do they really genuinely like what they see from Trump and want a piece of it? It's very hard for me to understand. I'm sure there's other reasons, people just not being very well informed, voting how their families always voted, people having their brains completely cooked by far-right content and disinformation and AI slopaganda online. I don't know. But despite losing, the Conservatives actually gained seats. And that is just horrifying to me at a time like this. But the good news is that Pierre Poilievre lost his own seat in his riding after nearly 2 decades. So that was genuinely satisfying to see. But the NDP, the more left-leaning party, also lost a lot of seats. The extended version of this episode is available via patreon.com/nicemangoes. So if you're not a patron, remember you can become one for as little as $1 a month. Or you can even purchase individual episodes now too. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to support it, there are several ways you can do that. You can share it online, talk about what you just heard. You can leave a 5-star review to help others find it too. And you can also subscribe via patreon.com/nicemangoes. No E in mangoes. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter before it's completely wrecked, you'll find me at Nice Mangoes. Again, no E in mangoes.